Welcome everyone. Today we are going to do this particular map. So we have to draw the profile and cross section of this map along line AB. What we notice in this map is there are no contour lines. So at the place of contour lines we have provided with spot heights on our section line, and these are the values of spot heights. Now let's first try to interpret the geological history, but before moving to that, we will first determine the topography of this area, then we will determine the structures in this area, then we will interpret the geological history. So the topography of the area is the function of relief variation in the area. So we can see that minimum relief of this area is 300 feet, because the minimum spot height in this area is 300, that is mentioned, and the maximum value of a spot height is 600 feet. This is 580, this is 578, and this is 600 feet. So the maximum value is 600 feet and the minimum value is 300 feet. So relief is varying between 300 feet to 600 feet. Then after the relief variation, let's try to interpret the structures. So we can see that there are different axes. One axis is over here, one axis is over here. So we can see these type of axes. So let's mark these axes clearly. So this is one axis. This is in fact the axis of syncline, because this symbol is for syncline, and so this one is syncline. If this bed is the youngest one in this area, this will be syncline. And here we can see another axis. So this is the axis once again. See, so this axis, if we see different traces are dipping in opposite direction with respect to this axis, so this will be anticline. So we have got one anticline and one syncline in this area, and we know that the core of anticline contains the oldest bed and core of syncline contains the youngest bed. So if we need to know the younging sequence in these beds, so because it is anticline and syncline, so we'll have to look for the ages of different beds and different limbs. So either we can start from youngest or we can start from oldest. So if this is the core of anticline, that is, so this is core of anticline, so this will be bed number 1, and in the both direction we will get bed number 2. Then after 2 we will get bed number 3. So we are getting bed number 3 over here, and here we have again repetition of bed number 2. It means the bed 4 is eroded from this reason. Then we have bed number 1, and here we can see that this is bed number 4 because the syncline core contains the youngest bed. So this is the bed number 4, and back again we are getting bed number 3. So here one bed is omitted. The 4 is not present over here. Again we are getting 2 and 3. So this is how the ages of beds are distributed in anticline and syncline. The core of this anticline contains oldest bed. Then we have bed number 2 in both the limbs. Then we have bed number 3. Then we have bed number 2 back again, and we have bed number 1. And here in syncline we have bed number 4 at the core. Then we have bed number 3. Then we have bed number 2. And that's how we have interpreted, or we can guess that there are anticlines and synclines in this area. Now if we have to draw the cross section, so we need to know the amount of dip along this direction. So luckily our two dips are in the direction of our section line only, so we need not to determine the apparent dips. So what we need to do to draw it, either we can make a strip and note down these heights and mark various points where the beds are intersecting at this section line, or the traces of the beds are intersecting at this point. So first of all, what we are going to do is we are going to interpret the geological history. So if now we have idea about the younger beds and older beds, we can say that which bed must have been deposited first. So oldest bed, that is bed number 1, this must have been deposited unconformably over unknown basement or unconformable basement. Then there must have been deposition of bed number 2, 3 and then 4. The area must have been put under ductile compression, so folding took place and there is development of one anticline and syncline, and the area was uplifted, tilted and eroded to form the present day landscape. We can see one more peculiar feature in this map, these lines that are dendritic type. So these lines are representing the drainage in this area. So this particular area is dominated by drainage. So these are different drainages, and this is main drainage trunk, and these are first order and second order drainage basins in this area. So now we have interpreted this map. Let's draw the profile and cross section for this map. So in order to draw the profile, we will fold the map along the section line, and we will plot the spot heights first. So now we have got different points, that is point A and point B, and then after plotting these points we will plot the spot heights. So this is our point A for the baseline, this is point B for the baseline, whether it is present over here. Let's mark it A and B. Then we mark the spot height. So here is one spot height, another is over here, then we have one more spot height over here, we have one more spot height over here, and we have one more spot height at this point. It's here, one is over here, one is here, one is here, one is here. So well, we have plotted. Now let's mark the values. This is of 390, this is 540, this is 305 feet, this is 380 feet, this is 480 feet, and this is 390 feet. We draw these heights, we get the profile. So let's first draw the baseline, that is AB line, by joining the points A and point B. Well, this is our point A and this is our point B. Now let's draw the heights on this baseline, because the relief is varying from here. We will have negative heights in this direction. The relief is varying from 300 to 600, so it will be sufficient if we only draw up to 1000 feet or even 800 feet. This direction will have negative heights. So this is 0 feet, that is mean sea level. This is again 0 feet, that is mean sea level. Now let's mark different other heights, like this is 500, this is 400, this is 300, this is 200, and this is 100, this is 600, 700, 800, 900 and 1000. Let's mark these values. This is 500, 300, 700. Now we'll mark these values as well. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. This is 100, 200, this is 300, 4, this is 500, 6, this is 700, 8, 900, and this is 1000. Now we will mark these heights in order to draw the profile. So here we have 390, just near to 400 we will mark this one. This is 540, so in between 5 and 600, somewhere close to 500, 540. This is 305, so just near to 300 will be 305. 380, so roughly we plot 380 feet, then 480. So here is our 480 feet. This will be 380 rather than 480. So this will be here at 380. This is 390 here to 400. So we have got our spot heights for drawing of profile. Now let's join these points carefully so that we will get the profile. So this is 390, the height is increasing, so we can draw in between 390 and 300. Here we have 540, so this value is 540. Then we have 305, and again the height is increased to 380 feet. So height is again increasing. Then it increased to 480 to this point. And then we have decreasing height 390. And we have decreasing trend, so we will draw a bit below 390 onto this line. So this is our profile. Now we will have to draw the beds and axis of the fold. Oops. So here we are getting one bed, here we are getting second one, third trace over here, fourth trace over here, fifth trace over here. Let's plot it. If we rather take the protector and mark it directly onto the profile, that will be much better. So here is one bed, here is another trace of bed, here is one more trace of bed, and then we have one trace over here. Then we have one trace over here, what we have already plotted, another trace over here, one more trace at this point, and one trace at this point. So these are traces of bed. Now we can see this is axis of anticline. So here we will have an anticline. This is axis of centerline. So beds which are in this direction, they will be dipping in this direction, and beds which are here, they will be dipping in this direction, and the beds which are in this direction of anticline, they will dip in this direction. So let's see that what are the amount of dips first. So the amount of dip for the beds in this direction is 10 degree. We can see that this is 10 degree, and we can see the beds over here, they are also dipping 5 degree. This one, this is 5 degree, this is 5 degree, and here we can see the 5 degree, 5 degree. Now we'll take roughly similar values, so let's plot them with an amount of 5 to 7 degree. This is 10 degree in this direction. So somewhere, because there are escarps present, so we have local variations in the direction of slope. So here we will plot now. So here is bed number 3, along which there is again the variation. So this is one more axis of anticline, we can see. We'll plot this axis as well. This is again, because this is bed number 3 and bed number 2, bed number 1. So this is youngest bed, so this will be syncline, anticline and syncline. We have 3 different folds in this area. This is axis of syncline. So we have 2 syncline and 1 anticline. This is anticline, this is syncline, this is syncline. Let's see whether we have got any other or not. So we have one axis over here, one axis over here and one axis over here. The beds are dipping 10 degree, this one, 10 degree, this one. So the beds which are in this direction, they are dipping 10 degree, and from the axis of this direction they are also dipping in 10 degree. Then these are dipping 5, roughly 10 degree, and here these beds are dipping 5 degree. So let's plot these angles. So we will take a point and plot this angle. Let's use a small protractor. This is 10 degree. This is 10 degree. This is our concern point from where we have plotted our 10 degree point. So here we have one angle, and here we have 110 degree angle. Then if we see this one, these beds are dipping 5 degree in this direction. So we will plot one more angle of 5 degree in this direction for these beds. This is roughly 5 degree. So now we will plot the limbs. of anticline and syncline. So parallel to this, all the limbs will plot which are in this direction. So here it's a syncline. We have another limb of syncline which is over here, and the limbs which are in this direction, they will plot parallel to this line. So we'll have to make them parallel. For that we can use set squares. So here we have one bed, and then we have one limb over here. So what we will do further, that we will remove these points afterward. Then we have one more bed over here. So this is our bed number 1, this is 2, this is 3, this will be 4. Now we have some more beds in this direction. Start them as well. So here is our axis of anticline. So this bed, rather than going in this direction, this will go in this direction, because we have one anticline over here. So parallel to this, we'll plot the limbs of anticline which are dipping opposite to the limbs of syncline. So here we have one such limb. This will extend and meet to this limb. Further we will join and we will plot the remaining beds of the limb as well. Because these are dipping with 5 degrees, now we will draw the limbs which are in this direction with an amount of 5 degrees only. So we are getting one bed over here. We are not getting any other, so we will measure the vertical thickness and go for drawing of the remaining limbs. So roughly this will plot below the profile, because it is not coming onto the profile. This limb will be like somewhat like this, and another limbs will plot similarly. We will remove excess information once we have drawn these all limbs, and we plot them prominently by some pen. So in total we have got this anticline, this anticline, and if we extend it further, so now let's see that where are the beds. So this is bed number 1. Next will be bed number 2. This is bed 3. This is 4. And here we have bed 2 and bed 3. We are not getting bed 4, as we can see over here. So if we have to join, we can join these 2 points in order to get bed 2 and 3. Right. So rather they will be bending somewhere here. So axis will be present towards this direction. So here will be an axis of anticline. Now let's remove the excess portion of the limbs in order to make it folded. So here we have the bed 2 folded like this, and here we have bed 3 and bed 2. Now let's draw them prominently by using some pens. And then we will fill the symbols. So let's first draw the profile. Now before drawing them prominently, let's mark the drainages. From the points that drainages are going, that point must be depressed in comparison to the profile. So let's see that where are the points where drainages are going. So one point, such point is over here. So there will be a notch. Then one such point is over here. There will be a notch, because the drainage always flows in the areas of depression. One such point is over here as well. And one such point is over here. So whenever we are drawing our profile, we are going to make a notch or area of depression to represent. So here is one, here is a river. Now let's plot the limbs of the beds or limbs of the fold. Above the profile, we will plot them by using dissected lines rather than continuous lines. And below the profile, we will plot them in as continuous. So now we have plotted our different beds, that is bed number 1, 2, 3, 4 in folded pattern. Here we were getting the bed 3 in core, and here we were getting the bed 1 in core, and here we were getting the bed 4 at the core. Now after that we will fill the symbol. So let's fill the symbols. Bed 1 is given symbol red, so here we have bed 1. Because we do not have idea of basement of the bed number 1, we cannot tell the extent to which our first bed is going in this section. So we will draw zigzag below so that it represents the unconformable base for bed number 1. Here are some symbols like dots are there in bed 1. Then we have bed 2. And that is represented by blue color. So here we have our bed 2. The places where rivers are flowing, they are representing the escarpments and also the river valleys. So these are the points. Then bed 3 is given color yellow. We have bed number 3. These positions, and 4 is given color green, and that is blank as well. So let's fill the color for bed number 3. And also for bed number 4, that is exposed only at one place over here. And these points where the notches are there, they represent the depression from where the rivers are flowing. So here, the rivers are flowing. Now let's mark prominently the excess of synclines and anticlines in the area and remove the excess information which are not required. So here we can clearly see that this is excess of syncline where the youngest bed is present in, or this is excess of anticline. So if we see the excess of anticline, both the limbs dips in opposite direction, and here we have one more excess of syncline. So here the beds are dipping in the direction of axis. We can mention it. This is anticline, this is syncline, this This is syncline, this is anticline, and this is again syncline. And these are the places where river is flowing, so you can write R. Here we have R, and here we have river. So this is how we have completed this map. Now let's interpret this map. 4 points. So we discussed the map in 4 points. So the topography, structures present, and the order of superposition, and ultimately we discuss the geological history of the area. So let's write these points one by one. The first point we will discuss will be topography. Second point will be structures. Third point will be order of superposition. And fourth point will be geological history. So as we know that minimum height of the area is 300 feet and maximum height of the area is 600 feet, and there are prominent rivers in this particular area, and there are escarpments produced by the river erosion. So this is about the topography. Now structures, we can see that there are 3 different axes, which are the axis of anticlines and synclines, because there are some cyclic repetitions along these axes what we are getting. So we have already mentioned the 2. Let's mention the third axis as well. So here we have one such more axis. So this is again the axis of syncline. So we have 2 synclines and 1 anticline in this area. So about the structure, we have anticline and syncline. So there are 4 folded beds which forms 1 anticline and 2 synclines. In order of superposition, the bed first deposits over unconformable basement, then there was deposition of bed 2, bed 3, and bed 4. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Then the area will subside up to the depth where ductile compression can take place. So the area is of compressive regime, and not just compression but ductile plastic compression. So once the bed are folded, they cannot regain back its shape. So this is our order of superposition and geological history. The bed 1 was deposited over unknown basement unconformably, followed by the conformable deposition of bed 2, bed 3 and bed 4. Then the area was subducted and it was put under ductile compression. So there was development of fold and the area uplifted, and there was erosion and development of river basins, and due to this erosion these beds were exposed at different points. So this gave rise to present day topography. So thank you. We have studied this map today, and for that we have this cross section. In the next classes we will be doing some more complex maps. Thank you.